women are expected to submit to their husbands.
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
So you just think they're meant to have babies? That's it? They're just a vessel?
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically.
I've talked a lot about white Christian nationalists, idiots like Hank Kunneman and Kent Christmas and Shane Vaughn and Paula, whatever her name is, the strike lady who's now married to one of the members of Journey. It's all very strange. Joel Webbin's another one I've talked about, the guy who has time and time again said we need to repeal the 19th Amendment. These people espouse views that at one point used to be considered radical, but are now normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill Republican ideas. So run-of-the-mill for Republicans that Pete Hegseth shared in a tweet an interview with his pastor on CNN. And in this interview, in this video that Pete Hegseth shared, they call for the repeal of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, the amendment to the Constitution that gave women the right to vote, that enshrined suffrage for women. These people are pernicious. Now, what I'm holding in my hands here are multiple books. This is written by Doug Wilson. And on the inner little card here, it's like, oh, what is that? Oh, for marketing. These idiots are sending me their books. Keep Your Kids, How to Raise Strong Kids in an Age of Therapeutic Sentimentalism. This one, The Sin of Empathy. Empathy now to these white Christian nationalists is a sin. I haven't even opened this one. I don't even know what this one is. Oh, it's another. Fantastic. Another copy of Sin of Empathy. These people are trying to spread their message so far and wide that they're wasting money sending these books to me. They are opening churches by the dozen all across the country and here in Washington, D.C. And Pete Hegseth, this is why it's important. I mean, it's important anyway because it's in the political zeitgeist of America, but it's more important than that because Pete Hegseth is a parishioner of this guy. Pete Hegseth, the same Pete Hegseth who's a credibly accused rapist, the same Pete Hegseth that's banning books on race and gender studies from service academies. He's changing the names of naval vessels from historic American figures who happen to be gay to other things. He's changing the names of bases back to the names of Confederate traitors to the United States of America. He's erasing the contributions of women, of LGBTQ people, of Black Americans, just trying to erase their contributions, the existence from the history of Pentagon websites, the photographic evidence. He's firing Black people from high positions in the military, women from high positions in the military, LGBTQ people. It is an all-out assault on anything that's not white, straight, male, and Christian in the Pentagon. And he's being given steam by Doug Wilson, the guy who's writing books about therapeutic sentimentalism and publishing in his publishing company, The Sin of Empathy. There are others they've sent me too. I couldn't find them. It's not like I'm cherishing them, you know? But Pete Hegseth has announced his assault on women and Black people and gay people before he even took office. Here he is in November, I believe. When was this? November 7th, 2024. On Sean Ryan's podcast, waxing how women should not be in combat because we're less effective if women have equality and can take part in defending their nation.
And so I'm surprised there hasn't been more blowback on that already in the book, because I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated.
So we should not be surprised when Pete Hegseth takes to Twitter and shares from his official account this video where Doug Wilson, well, what's the first clip here? Talking about his opening of his new churches. And then at the very beginning of the clip, you're going to see Pete Hegseth entering the church here in Washington, D.C. They're putting this church into place to try to get more members of the United States government, more Trump administration people to attend so they can levy influence against them to control policy. Watch this.
With the recent opening of his new church and high-profile parishioners like Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Is planting a church in D.C. part of your mission to try to turn this into a Christian nation?
Yes. So every society is theocratic.
Yes. The point of what he's doing is to try to make this nation a Christian nation. I thought we already were a Christian nation. We are founded as that. Even though there's a prohibition in the First Amendment, the very First Amendment of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. We are set up to be a secular democracy. Here's some more thoughts about Doug Wilson on the ladies. He's being interviewed by a woman who has kids. And it's not off limits necessarily. Not automatically it's not bad that you have a job. This is Pete Hegseth's pastor. And this video was shared by Pete Hegseth on Twitter.
A big focus of his Christian movement is on a patriarchal society where men are dominant and women are expected to submit to their husbands.
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
So you just think they're meant to have babies? That's
well,
it? They're just a vessel?
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here as a working journalist, and I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue for you?
No, it's not automatically an issue.
And it's not just Pete. It's not just Doug Wilson. It's not just Pete Hegseth. It's the other people in leadership in this faith. Look, one of the reasons why this fires me up so much is because this guy lives in my home state. He lives in Idaho, Moscow, Idaho. He used to be just kind of a fringe dipshit in Moscow, hated by most of the population, but he is now a draw. People are moving there to attend his church on the Palouse, on the prairie there, farmland. And his co-pastors, his acolytes, his followers, they take it further about how women should not have the right to vote. These people are influencing the highest echelons of our government. Watch this.
Wilson says in his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals shouldn't be able to vote. His fellow pastors, Jared Longshore and Toby Sumter, agree.
In my ideal society, we would vote as households. And I would ordinarily be the one that would cast the vote, but I would cast the vote having discussed it with my household.
But what if your wife doesn't want to vote for the same person as you?
Right. Well, then that's a great opportunity for a good discussion.
There are some who have gone so far as to say that they want the 19th Amendment repealed.
I would support that. And I'd support it on the basis that the atomization that comes with our current system is not good for humans.
That voting by household thing is something I've covered Joel Webbin saying many, many, many times. The same Joel Webbin. What am I going to tell my kids if they see people wearing Hindu garb, he calls it? How am I going to explain to my daughter that other people believe things that we don't believe? And again, they are trying to infiltrate not only the nation's capital, but they have like 150, nearly 200 churches all over the world, trying to export this hatred, this bigotry, this misogyny. Last clip.
How precious.
And now there's a monthly prayer service at the Pentagon, initiated by Hegseth, Wilson's highest level connection to the administration.
It's not organizationally tied to us, but it's the kind of thing we love to see.
For his part, Hegseth has publicly praised Wilson.
Now we're standing on the shoulders of a generation later
the Doug Wilsons and the others.
Wilson's influence spans the globe with more than 150 churches.
And there was Pete Hegseth endorsing. We stand on the shoulders, and now there's people like Douglas Wilson. Oh. This is at the root of what MAGA is. This is at the root. This is not fringe. This is mainstream. This is the Department of Defense holding prayer meetings where they wail out of key. And Donald Trump, who's not a Christian, no, he claims to be a Christian, but he doesn't know anything about the philosophies of Jesus. He couldn't name one single book, not a single scripture, nothing. He couldn't name that there's 2 testaments, according to Christians. People need to start waking up and stop giving these people the benefit of the doubt. This is a movement that is underfoot by the most radical elements in our country. And what a coincidence, they all happen to be Republicans. They all happen to be white, Christian nationalists. So for all of the people who are out there who are probably not here anymore because they thought I was too radical before and they stopped watching, oh, you're just being a bomb thrower. You're an alarmist. What are you talking about? Here we are. Here we are, the Secretary of Defense sharing this vile, discriminatory bigotry on Twitter from his official account, announcing to the world that my pastor is Douglas Wilson. I go to his church here in the United States, and he thinks women shouldn't have the right to vote, and by virtue of that, by extension, so do I. Anyway, it's time to wake up and stop giving these people the benefit of the doubt. What do you think? I would appreciate your feedback. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I'm not an alarmist. I'm a realist who calls it like I see it. And empathy is not a sin. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.